about these problems, and yes, I will work them through. Friends, again, we are still trying to make sure that, one, we have to have our factoring down, okay? Please, if you are still struggling with it, please make it a point to come in and see me, and not for like 10 seconds. It's really okay to come to get help. It's not, you're not failing life because you're coming to see Stirrup for help, okay? All right, problem number one, we got x squared minus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. So we're going to go through and do this just by factoring. Agree? So I have a 1 out front. 1 times negative 8 is negative 8. That means I should have a positive and a negative component to this. Agree? And then I know that 1 times 8 gives me 8. And I know that 2 times 4 gives me 8. Which of those, one being positive, one being negative, would add up to this negative 2? 2 and 4. Which one has to be negative? Good. So plus 2x minus 4x would give me that negative 2x. Agree? So then I'm going to bring this down. I have x squared, and I have minus 8. And inside that gap, I'm going to put plus 2x and minus 4x. And I could have flip-flopped it just as long as I keep the signs correct. Underline the first two terms. I have an x in common, so I have x plus 2. This middle sign comes down, and I can factor out a 4 from both of those, so that gives me x plus 2. Now, friends, let me stop there for a sec. I have a number or a letter in front of parentheses. If I distributed that back over, if I looked at this first one and went x times x to get x squared, and I went x times 2 to get 2x, that's where it works. If I take negative 4 and distribute it over x plus 2, I get negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times positive 2 is negative 8. That's really where the foundation of it comes from. Okay? So being that these are the same, that's what we want. I don't have to necessarily put it into two binomials. I can just set the binomials equal to 0 right away. So I can go x plus 2 equals 0. What's my other one going to be? X minus 4 equals 0. Very good. And then I just solve them. So subtract 2 from both sides. So I get negative 2. Add 4 to both sides. Positive 4. Okay? Those are my answers. So the difference between factoring and solving is you have an equal sign as part of the problem. Okay? And what gets goofy, and I'm trying to argue this point, saying, on the next quiz, can it be all just solving? Because you know what's going to happen? If I had 5 problems that were just factoring, half my students are going to put an equal sign and solve it. Not because you're broken, it's just, but I think I'm winning the argument. I think I'm almost there. So it should be all just solving, which is factoring then setting equal 0. Okay, problem number 4. We have x squared minus 3x equals 0. Now this one looks a little bit different because we don't have an end number. We don't have an end term. I mean, I guess we could say plus 0, but we don't have that. It is equal to 0. So how do I approach this type of problem to work it? Do I factor it into 2 sets of binomials, or do I factor out a greatest common factor? Yeah, greatest common factor. So I can factor an x out, and I'm left with x minus 3. Okay? Now, this looks a little different than the last one, right? The last one we had kind of 2 things that we set up, but this one, because I had a greatest common factor, we pulled that out. So this x is going to be equal to 0, and then x minus 3 equals 0. Add 3 to both sides, so my 2 solutions are both of those. Okay? So again, what those solutions do, if I plug those solutions back into the original problem, it gives us a 0. Okay? Number 7, we get x squared plus 0x minus 49 is equal to 0. Okay? This is one that we could definitely do. Yes, we have that 0x. So negative 49 times 1 In order to get a negative number, I have to have a positive and a negative. What can you guarantee about those two numbers? If one's positive, one's negative, what can you guarantee about those two numbers in order to get that 0? It's the same number. So one has to be positive, one has to be negative. You get all that?
Can I do something like this?
Yeah, you can keep it sloppy.
Okay.
Perfect. Love it. Silly, thanks so much for staying in. Yeah, buddy. All right. So the numbers have to be the same if one's positive and one's negative to add it to 0. So do I have to go through the whole list of process of, yeah, 7 and 7. Very good. So I have a positive 7x and a negative 7x. If I add those together, I get the 0. But I can plug these values in right here. So I get x squared, whatever order you want. Just make sure you keep the signs going with it. Bless you. Factor out an x. That is going to be a negative 7, so I'm going to change both signs. So now, I don't have to put it as two binomials. I can just say, well, I know I have x plus 7 is equal to 0, and I know that x minus 7 is equal to 0, which means if I subtract 7 here, and if I add 7 here, that's it. We're just all with the cyan. All a bunch of sighs. One of these days, my friend, you're going to have a wonderful night of sleep. Oh, it will, my friend.
I have a 12-year-old little sister. That's never happened.
You'll get there.
Once I moved out.
Okay. Well, it gives you something to look forward to, right?
No. I refuse to pay bills.
Ah. That's why you're going to take my business calculus class your senior year, because I will show you how to live the debtless life.
I'm going to be a billionaire.
Yeah, baby.
Buy a light company, and buy my house, and buy a Wi-Fi company, too.
I love your passion. I'm with you.
I pay no type of bill.
Yeah.
You know what provides a lot of financial security?
Huh.
Being a stripper.
Okay, let's just steer away from that. I don't think that's what he was going for. What do you got? Go in the NFL?
That's my financial security.
I like it. I just wasn't blessed with height. I mean, I played D-line. I was 225 pounds. I was a linebacker as well. Yeah, now I'm 170, so.
How did you?
Yeah.
What were you benching and squatting?
I don't remember my squatting. My bench, though, my bench record's still up on the wall.
Bro?
Yeah, at my high school. 345. Yeah.
Damn, I guess you're weak, bro. Jesus.
I can't do it. My right shoulder will not tolerate it anymore.
You could probably hear something and try.
I can still do 2 1/4 10 times, though. I don't like to do it a lot.
Yeah, you should.
No, everything I do now, as you get older, and your dad will probably attest to this, more reps, lighter weight.
Range of motion.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want to keep your flexibility up, especially when you're getting older. It's no fun.
So, my cousin went D1.
Yeah, baby.
Like, he literally just called me this morning and said he went D1.
Love it. All right, let's finish these up. I have a 1 out front. Agreed? I'm going to multiply 42 times 1, and I'm going to get a positive 42. What can you tell me the two signs have to be? Are they both positive or are they both negative? Not? No. Negative, negative. They both have to be negative. They both have to be negative because if I go negative times negative, I get positive. But being I have a negative sign sitting in this problem with that middle term, that means they both have to be negative, negative. So then, I'm not quite sure what the factors of 42 are, so I'm going to go 1 times 42 gives me 42. 2 times 21, they're not going to give me negative 13. 3 does? 3, Does 3 work?
3 cups down to 21.
3 goes in once. 3 and 14?
Yeah.
Let's see. That's getting close. It's getting definitely close. 4 doesn't work. 5 doesn't work. 7 and 6. Thank you. And they're both negative. So I have negative 7x and negative 6x. If I add those together, I combine those together, I get the negative 13. In whatever order I want, I'm going to plug these into the middle here. So I'm going to get x squared minus 7x minus 6x plus 42. I'm going to factor out an x minus 7. This negative is going to come out, but it's also going to be a negative 6 that comes out. All right. So do I have to set up the 2 binomials, or can I just go right to solving?
You're right.
Yeah, baby. So x minus 7 equals 0. And what's the other one? X minus 6 equals 0. Very good. So add 7 to both sides here. Add 6 to both sides here. All right. Almost done. Almost done. Ready? Moving on. Good. Number 13. What do we have to do with number 13? It doesn't look quite the same, correct? So do I try and break it into 2 binomials, or is there another way? Yes, good. Factor x out. So x and x minus 5. Those are both equal to 0. So make sure you have x equals 0 as one of your solutions. X minus 5 equals 0. So x equals, adding 5, you get 5. Cool. Last problem I'm going to work. And then I'm going to give you time to work, please. All right. So, number 16. 2x squared minus 5x equals 12. Can I just start factoring this one?
No, you can't stop, bro.
Why can I not start factoring it right now?
Because it's not like actually 0.
Good. That's it. It's not equal to 0. Excellent. So
2x squared minus 5x plus 12.
minus 12.
Yeah.
Because you do the opposite of what it was. So you're going to get to this. Excellent job. So because it wasn't equal to 0, you have to make it equal to 0 to get there. Okay? So now it's set up to start factoring. I'm going to go negative 12 times 2, so I get negative 24. Friends, what do you guarantee the signs have to be? Yeah, one of each, right? In order to multiply 2 numbers together, I get a negative. So I got 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. And again, you know, I go through them quickly, but do you understand why? If I multiply 1 and 24, or 2 or 12, or 3 and 8, or 4 and 6, those are the numbers I could multiply together to get there. Okay, so now I have 1 positive and I have 1 negative. I need them to add up to negative 5. What do you got? Okay, so negative 8x, I think I heard. And positive 3x. Does that give me the negative 5?
Yes, sir.
If I have my signs backwards, it'd give me a positive 5. Agree? All right. So let's see. I have 2x squared minus 12. You're going to squeeze these in whatever order you want. Just make sure you bring the signs with it. What can I factor out of those first 2?
2x.
2x?
Yeah. So it's like x minus 4.
Good, good, good. Plus sign comes straight down. What can I factor out of these next 2? 3.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, Adrian, did you come in yesterday, 8th period?
I did.
I am so sorry. I had someone, they needed to meet with me in one of the offices.
Yeah.
I'm so very sorry.
I was just sitting here talking to the senior that was in here, so
I'm so sorry. I should be here today. I'm so very sorry. I did not mean to do that to you. All right. So x minus 4 equals 0, and what's the other one?
The x minus x 2x plus 3 equals 0.
There you go. So I add 4 to both sides.
That one is x.
Subtract 3, right?
Yeah.
Divide by 2.
Yep. 3 over 2. Okay, hey, I thought I was doing that.
Love it.
Can you do 12? That's one I didn't understand before.
12 is prime.
Yeah, wait.
If it was x squared minus 1, it would factor, but x squared plus 1 won't. All right. So I would like for you to please finish page 69 and 70. Get all the rest done. You have the rest of the period to work. How much time we got?
Like 25 minutes.
Sweet. You have a lot of time. Yes? Come see me. Let's work. If you need help,